Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
Hello everybody and welcome to Aster taking on 13. We're here for the Asian Minor closed qualifier for the Chinese region for the StarLadder Minor. As we look towards Aster and 13 as a matchup in general, we've already seen the veto go down, of course, as we're into the pistol round on Dust 2. This is the map pick of Aster to start it off, and we're going to see Dream opening things up. Now, coming out of tunnels, 13 have 3 players to contend with, and that's not going to be easy, as Dream continues to frag with that USP, even through the smoke, taking down a 4th in the end, as 18 disappears, and a very, very swift start to come through. As now 1-0 up, the pistol round under their belt, they are looking good, and in the series overall, from what I've seen, they seem to be favorites. The second map is the map pick of 13, and they've decided to jump straight in and pick Vertigo. Now, that is an interesting call to be sure. And if we need to see a decider, it will be over on Inferno, where things are taking the full distance. So far, there's only one map on record for 13, and that is a Dust 2 game up against Nirvana, which they lost 16-13 in the BO1s. Oh no, it was a BO3. They must have forfeit afterwards. So Aster coming in as favorites. They've got their map out and they're starting it well. 13 come through with a couple of deagles and 18 is on a scoot. See what he can do with that. As we move towards A, the long range angle is certainly on offer as undercover. Throws a Molotov in. It's not going to do too much. Oya goes down to 25 HP, but my skill's going to be connected for the T side at least. Finding one, the scout comes... Oh, no. Team kill from the scout puts it into a 4v3. A man advantage in favor of the CT side as they come through with some short control. The bomb's already been planted, but that might be as far as the T's get, rather. As the defuse eventually going to come through, actually quite quickly. 13 just being deleted out of that round. And with a 2-0 scoreline, this is where 13 should find themselves with a few pistols and armor. You don't want to see a full buy from them. The investment would be risque and unnecessary. And so at this point, 2-0 up, aggression comes through as they're playing it as a bit of a... I mean, it's a weird round overall from Aster, right? They've got themselves a couple of they've got an SMG rather and a scout and some FAMAS in play, so they're going aggressive. Try and see what they can get done early on. It's risky against pistols, especially as you know it's probably going to be pistols and armor. That's a weird call from Monster. I think he had armor and a Glock. You don't see full armor, a Glock, and full util all too often, and the utility not being thrown is certainly not the way to start for 13. It's a weird round behind us anyways. Let's forget about it. Pretend it didn't happen. And look towards the fourth round, rather, 3-0. Aster come in with the scout, maintaining it. They want to keep over a little bit of Kashish. As 13 have fully invested. 5 AKs in play alongside util. So a lot of weaknesses for the CT side to work with here, but if they win, it'll pay off 10 times. Ooh, aggression through mid from Mr. Mao. Hasn't been spotted. They don't seem to be checking towards top mid, so he's going to get away with this, but taken down by the player on car to put it into a 5v4. Man advantage for 13 to work with now. Dust 2 is never the hardest map to play with a man disadvantage on the CT side. But with a scout in play, and what's the other weapon there on an AUG undercover, right? Yeah. you're going to have a weird time holding that bomb site, especially if undercover falls, as he's playing super aggressive towards short. Ooh, awkward Molotov. That's going to allow some ground to be obtained by 13 as they push forward. Scout finds an opening kill, and undercover, fragging like a madman, takes down 3. USP deployed. He can find a kill with it, but he doesn't really need to at this stage. Enough has been done. 13 with 1 player left alive. 2 towards the A bomb site. 1 pushed up through tunnels on B. He has very few options. And as he's eventually taken down, this is a strong start from Aster into the series. Molotov towards the doors. They're pushing on through. 813's got to back off here. Playing with the deagle in hand, waiting for his teammate to catch an angle and take some of them down. And Dream is obliging. Oh, nade out. That's a risky spot to be in. Pistol actually finds the kill onto him. They're going to run up and see if he can retrieve the weapon. No, not quite in time. 813 carries the scout forward instead. That's not ideal. As with a 5-0 lead now, Aster, at least they've got a lot of cash built up, so they're not worrying too much about bringing the AUG forward, but still, it'll be a little bit of an annoyance. Upgrading to the AWP in this round, 813 knows that they're up against a full buy. As 13 have found themselves quite a lot of utility, a full armor, an AWP as well. This is a pretty good buy, about as good as it gets. And so their finest chance of closing a round out begins now. Some spams coming through from Aster early on as they feign out some short control with an aggressive smoke and a flashbang through middle. Not yet taking any sort of control though. They've got aggression towards long, although just down in the pit, so it's still a pretty safe position to play. Especially as you're being covered by 813 with the AWP. Shots from pit see undercover fall quite quickly, and the op eventually in there with the covering fire as they peek towards the corner. That smoke is way too deep, so there's still an angle for the opper of 813. He's holding it, waiting for a peek to come through, and although he gets hit down to 21 HP, he does just about survive. Over towards short, Mao only lands 1, which puts danger into reality for 813, who's taken down from short. But Meister can't do anything here, really. Has to back off with the FAMAS. He knows there's an op on long. Ed is low on sight. Runs forward before his teammate's ready to peek. There's the bomb planter down, but unfortunately the bomb goes down in time, allowing for a very passive hold from, let's try and pronounce that, Swangri. Spots him out with the op, but unable to hit the shot. Using a smoke to cross, but now he won't be able to defuse safely. He's hoping to catch an angle, but Swangri just waiting for the defuse. And Dream just backs off. He knows he's probably not won this fight. He had a kit to work with, but doesn't want to bait the op out into the open and be destroyed. Another full buy for 13 after winning that previous round, but it still keeps their economy super, super low. As Aster have the chance now to get back on the board with some consecutive rounds. If they win this one, 13 won't have a lot of cash. I'll probably just go for another pistol armor buy. A hefty stack towards B from the T side. You can see that they're focusing the majority of their presence there despite having the bomb alone on A long. They've shifted down to get some tunnels control. Smoke down the middle. This is going to allow them to have a lot of control over the mid area in general, pushing down short pretty freely. And crossing over in middle. It robs a lot of information out of the hands of the CT side. They're going to go for short control a little bit late. 50 seconds left on the clock, but it'll be about 40 by the time. Oh no, they're actually pushing in straight away. Only 2 players going forward. 813 drops a molly and's forced off the angle, and that's actually worthwhile for 13 because even if they decide to take it to B now, they should be able to fairly handily drag a rotation down. That utility usage, I would imagine, would bring a player towards the A bomb site, but it doesn't seem to be happening just yet. There we go. Eventually, Dream's going to start to rotate down. So 13 play this super well with the smoke and the cross, the flashbang through. It looks like they're faking it, but as the players take the kill onto Meister, now they know it's a B hit. Dream's coming up behind. He's taken down, and a fantastic round played out for 13. They get the bomb plant in, safe as can be. And a 3 versus 4 retake. So 13 played the early round well, but it looked like they were going to be challenged, but with the op in play, Aster decided to just back off, so they play the late round well, too. Just really well handled all in all. And an impressive change of pace for 13. They avoid the majority of combat. I mean, they only had to kill 2 players and they won the round. But on the back of that flashbang on short with the push forward, that's really what got them the round because it just left Aster in a position that they didn't really know. They had no information, but the only info they had was pointing heavily towards it being an A hit. Mr. Mao takes the opening in a round that's pretty important for Aster, investing every last penny that they've got into a double op setup. If they don't manage to get a return on investment this time, it will be then, 4 rounds on the board for 13, most likely with an eco, and a pretty good build-up for the T side coming back into it in the mid-half. Okay. Undercover is going to be returned on. This opens the door for 13 to make their way towards B. Cross smoke goes down. It's going to be heavily telegraphed, and there are still 2 players here. AWP swings out, but Monster a little bit too early, shooting off. He's eliminated, leaving it all down to a 3 versus 4. A B take with a man disadvantage, never going to be easy to work with, especially as the utility keeps them back and really time limits this push. They know there's an op on that side as well. So I think the right call here is making that rotate towards A. They've already dragged a few over, but Mr. Mao is going to be looking for the info, and with this flashbang going over, he hears them on short as well. He's got that intel. He's calling it to his teammates. He's actually going for the peak. I don't like that. 813 could have relocated to the site. They could have had to rotate down from B and a pretty decent chance at the round and just held for the information. Now as the A side is pushed, there's only 3 players to work with on the CT side and no control. Going for the jump shot. Ed's ready for it. He takes 813 down. And again, Aster, they come into this as favorites, but some terrible plays made in this round. 13 are punishing them for every single one of them, and Ed eventually taking a 4th kill as well. What a fantastic round from him. Now 8 for 6. So as we look towards a 5-3 scoreline, Aster have taken the force by. They've got a Deagle in play for Meister, a UMP. I was kind of looking towards 13 to take a bit of mid-aggression. Didn't come through on the back of their util usage, but eventually they find one around the smoke as Mr. Mao goes down. 13 now with the man advantage, and again looking towards the B site favorably, but there are still 3 players here. Oh, look at this from Dia. He's been holding, or Oya, he's been holding that for so long, waiting for the peak to come through. Oh no, Dream jumps right into the crosshair of Monster. He actually had the angle to take him down, but didn't see him. And it's all into 813 with a scout, and very quickly going to be taken all off of 813 with a scout as it's 5-4. Now 13 should be granted a free round. I said before if they won the bye round in round number 8 that it would be a 5-4 scoreline. But with the force buy coming through from Aster in the previous round, it leaves us into a 5-5 most likely. So Dust 2 in general seems to be going really well for 13, despite a strong start from Aster and, like we said, them being favored. Now, one thing we can say is that overall, there's a little bit more experience on the Aster side. So as we move over to Vertigo, that could be a map that gives them a little bit more of an edge, but it's also the map pick of 13, so somewhere they're clearly going to be familiar with in a heavy level. I'm looking at some of the results from Aster, and they seem to be a pretty competent team. Taking down eHome, having a close 16-13 on Inferno versus MVP, and losing to iPet 16-10, which was a little bit of a disappointment. They don't seem to do too well on the Puggy maps in general, likes of a Mirage or a Dust, as we're here right now. 2 BO3s recently as well in the IEM Sydney China qualifier. I didn't catch them in that, but one was against eHome, who did really well in that tournament. And they were 16-9 on Inferno and Dust. And the other was versus Tyloo. Cash was in the map pool, and they lost 16-7 there, 16-8 overpass. So Aster putting up okay results, but they've definitely played a lot more than 13 have. Leaving me to kind of favor the CT side of Aster currently whenever we move over to a Vertigo. Provided they've got the work done there, and considering the fact that it wasn't banned out, you would imagine that they have at least got some level of preparation there. Most teams do at this point. 13 are, after losing the previous round, able to get a full buy out. Aster didn't secure too much control over their economy. Like, although they don't lose the players, they're still in a spot that, coming into this one with a double op setup, they won't be easily able to reinvest. Actually, is their loss bonus built up? Oh yeah, they will. Never mind. Forgot it was so many rounds in a row for 13 and just the one there. So surviving with all 5 players is a pretty positive situation for them. It always is a strong suit. But in this case in particular, it proves to be massively important, really, because they've got the opportunity to shut 13's economy down right now. If they win this one, 13 have nothing to work with. Oh, the push on short's looking good for the T side until 813 pulls it back. At least a 1-for-1 goes down. The Molotov actually goes a little bit deep, I think. Whoop, through the wall we go. Yeah, indeed it does. It gives them a little bit of room to maneuver. As the smokes go over, there's still going to be 4 terrorists waiting on short to push on forward. 813, here's the Molotovs coming over. He knows that they're going to take short at the moment. He's trying to spot them crossing or indeed falling down. Oh, loses 50 HP to the molly. That's not ideal. Oh, a team kill comes through from Oya. No, all chances for 13 now start to dissipate and fade. Dream comes up behind to shut the round down. And 7-5. 13 looked so good to start that out. And then it flipped back over, leaving it now 7-5 with an 8th likely for Aster. As 13 don't have a lot of money, but they decide to fully invest. Why did I think they didn't have a lot of money? They had so much cash. Hold on. I think I misread it. Yeah, I misread it in the previous round. I thought Sungri had 1,100, not 8,100. So obviously they're up on 8k. And you can actually see why. If we go back through the rounds, when they were winning, they had 2 rounds with 4 alive, 1 with 5, and 1 with 3. That's a lot of cash built up there with so little reinvestment, especially because they were getting the bomb plant in the first 2 as well. It's a lot of cash built. So never mind. That's why you look with your eyes and not with your memory. So 13 fully invest in here. They've got 4 AKs. They've got an op to work with. Utility is lacking a little bit as they push towards the bomb site, as they've only got 1 smoke remaining. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue as the bomb plant now to go down on the back of the kill onto 813. The short hold not quite as efficient as it was before. Leaving Ed on 4 HP, but a quick kill from Oya returns that into a 2-man advantage for Aster to play with. Or play against. Oh, the nade kill should prompt them to go for this. The time is limited, but they've already got a player pushed up on long. Mr. Mao needs to leave now because the others are going for a save. He finds one. He continues to aggress. They find one on short as well. I mean, it's a 3v2, but they haven't committed to it. They're half committing. I really don't like this. They have no time anymore. Trying to find exits, but the economy's built up enough for 13 that they're not going to be worried too much about it. At least the kill goes down from Mr. Mao there with the USP. Oya survives on the AVP for now. Dream's trying to hunt him down. No one catches an angle, though. And it ends 7-6, 13. Again, their economy isn't going to struggle too much coming into this one. You can definitely see the impact that the kills are having. In that the reinvestment into this round leaves them with no money if they lose. So Aster now have the chance to find themselves a relatively easy round. If they win this one. It's all down to that, really. Got to get that fat W in the board, and one for one trades to start it out is not the way to go. Dream falls to leaving us over into a 3v4. Man disadvantage, low HP on Meister. 13 are making this a very competitive half. As they've already got a player towards A. The bomb should be making its way up short now to get that plant in. Plant connects, and as Mr. Mao tries to make his way through middle, 18's watching him. Takes him down and puts it into a 4v2. This is not great, even with the kill for undercover. The time is on the terrorist side's hands, and they've 2 Molotovs to work with. Aster know that with the economy they've currently got and an op on the retake with 50 HP, it's best to go for a save. It's the right call, but it's a hard one to make because 13 have already got a fantastic T-side off, considering how things started out. And we saw those 5 consecutive rounds come through. And yet that still proves to just not be enough. As the T's ultimately come back into it with a 7-7 scoreline. It's only going to be 1 round that separates them, moving over to the halftime. Well, now we look towards Aster to see if they can pull off this final round. It's going to be a very heavy B-hole to come through, as Dream is alone, 20 HP, taken down. The retake from Meister not going to work out. He had thrown the flashbang over to support his teammate and then just decided to try for the trade. But with it not working, you're now into a 3v4 in a situation for Aster that definitely doesn't look good. The AWP posted up. Monster catches 1 kill, looks towards the window for more as 813... His Molotov's out of window, down to 33 health. Undercover falls, and it's looking unlikely that anything else is connected for the CT side. They're in a 1v4. 13 may just have claimed themselves another round. Flash goes over. 813 up close in the smoke. He's taken out from behind even, as Ed came through middle. 8-7 is the finale score. And I have to say, 13 surprised me with that comeback. It was looking like it was going to be another very one-sided game, but that's certainly not the case here on Dust 2. Coming into the pistol, Meister's taking himself a P250 alongside utility. Flash goes down to help him cross over in middle. But it's going to be the B bomb site that they go towards, which is odd because their mid player is nowhere near. 813 at least finds himself 2 to open the site up, and a cross smoke will go down somewhat late. I don't get why Meister was alone mid there, especially as he's the util player, but eventually the plant goes in. Flashbang over. The peak from 813 doesn't yield any results. With 2 coming through pit. Meister's been spotted and lit up. What a shot onto 813. And with low HP on Meister, he'll be quickly dealt with. Too many players to take out. Another round for 13 as they're building these up quite convincingly. Looking to be on form at the minute. And I'm worried for Aster. As now they could be forced into a position, yeah, there you go, where their mentality isn't quite healthy. They go for a force buy. 2 AKs, a scout, a UMP, and a deagle on the back of the bomb plant. They could have had a really nice buy in the next round. But instead they settle for this and see if they can catch 13 off guard. And all things considered, I mean, it's a relatively even buy situation. You've got an SMG and a pistol on the T side as well. The SMG being replaced by a scout on the T. I meant on the CT, even SMG pistol. And 3 rifles facing off against a UMP and 2 AKs. So definitely a position that could go either way. As the T side come in with 2 openings, down goes Mr. Mao. But even with undercover low HP, it's a man advantage to work with, and the bomb plant secured towards the A bomb site. 13 now, their economy would look better if they save these weapons. But with the pistol in play, they're not looking to do that. Take down 1 on top mid, that's the deagle. Remember, undercover is low HP, so that Molotov picked up there by 18 could be dangerous for him. The good thing for him is that he can head peek. Take fights towards short. He's only really in danger if they come through long, which obviously they're not. As Sungri finds 1 Oya on another. It's all down to undercover. He's got 1 HP, but he jumps. And that's going to cost him everything. 10-second defuse, though. I don't think there's time, is there? That's going to be close. No time. 2 seconds too late. As an 8th round secured for Aster now on the back of the bomb explosion. But the buy isn't going to be easily obtained. You can see that the investment is weaker than you would normally expect. And Meister might even take an SMG here just to get extra utility for his team to play with. I remember seeing a comment in chat before in a situation like that, where Meister, a player like Meister in his spot bought a UMP and util, and people were like, why he buy a UMP, have money for AK, idiot. It was quite funny to see how little some people understand about Counter-Strike. Utility not used too much though. They realize they're up against an eco, so they just want to keep the majority of it. The smoke and the Molotov especially being pretty expensive. So there's no point smoking the cross there where you can just go straight, straight for the fights. Three opens it up in another round that isn't looking great for 13. Of course, having a very weak investment. A couple of pieces of utility SMGs. No kits. And no chance really, as it's a 5 versus 1. Sungri has got, I suppose, the tiniest of opportunities with Mr. Mao and 813 being low HP, but really I think you're talking about damage, not so much wins. With Sungri taken down, it's into a 10-9 scoreline. Aster definitely looking stronger as they move to the T side, but now they face a real challenge. A full buy from 13. Ed invested a little bit too low in the previous round, so he's only got the MP9. Everybody else with the rifles, though. 15 kills so far for Oya, and he's having a pretty good performance, but Mr. Mao and 813 are the players that really stand out on the terrorist side. They're the ones to look out for. As Mr. Mao is the one opening up this round, at least. We're going to see a bomb plant be secured, and an even retake for 13 is not great, especially as they come in with an AWP. B's always been a difficult site to retake. They're going to split through tunnels. It looks, for now at least, like they're going to go for it. Shots connecting. Oya takes down undercover. Molotov in play, though, could cause a little bit of havoc. Aster slowing down that offense, and the retake, great spray down from Mr. Mao, and he comes through with a third. Monster down, it's 11-9. 13 were looking like they might have had a chance for a couple of seconds, but that notion is very quickly dispelled. So as we open it up, Mr. Mao towards the B-bomb site, is helped out by undercover. It should be a relatively clean round, but for the fact we've already seen a pistol frag come through. 18's pushed off the angle though, so not a whole lot for 13 to do. It's a weak round for them, so they're not too worried about being shut out of it and not winning. They just would have liked to find a couple more kills. So Aster at this point, they've feigned out a little bit of B control. They've got a fair bit of utility left to use, and as they move towards middle, it could very well be a hit on A. Molotov's down, the spams, clearing out the angles that you need to worry about, and you can just see how much more seriously they're taking this round, with it being so slow and systematic. Flash on long, but Meister is going to relocate over towards his teammates. And Aster at this point, I'm feeling like it is going to be a hit towards B just because they've given up all control on long. But as I say that, they seize a bit of short. Mr. Mao catches Monster there with the AWP. He's actually holding towards Goose now. So he catches him out with the flashbang. He's pushed back. He's playing a more passive angle with the op. And they haven't yet got the information that he's playing A with that AVP, I think. As he pushes around the smoke, though, he's sure to give away that intel. Doesn't spot them dropping down either. Mr. Mao now up close and personal takes down... Actually, he doesn't take anybody down. He misses the shot. They close in on B. Eventually, it comes through, but Oya's catching one undercover. Looking towards CT, picks up 2 frags on the A bomb or the B bomb site rather. Oya's got a hold down with the AUG, and he manages at least one with 8 seconds left. Sungri finds it easy to find the kill onto a panicked Meister trying to rush through the doors. 12 to 10. A position now for Aster where they're easily able to invest into this round, but they've been kind of shut down by their slower play. I expect now they'll return towards faster strategies, as we've seen in the past. Yikes. 813 in with a top mid kill. Spamming straight through the doors. Takes one down. And leaves us into a not very nice spot. 13 now with a man disadvantage. The Op is so close to finding another. 813 peeks the angle. Spots him out. Doesn't land the shot though. As 18 takes him down. So we're back into a 4v4. A position for 13 that looks a little bit better at least, having found the trade and taken down 813, who's been having a fantastic game. So he is the player you want to remove. Mr. Mao, though, still up there and still lurking about. Smoke some Molotovs on the cross. It still leaves a bit of a gap for the CTs, I think. Oh, it's actually for the Ts. Because Mr. Mao and Dream just peeking through it. They catch them completely off guard. The push comes on to A afterwards, and big brain plays from Aster. They've got control of both bomb sites. With the final remaining CT pushing through tunnels, he's going for T-spawn, and 13 have lost another round, pushing Aster that much closer to victory. Now just a mere 3 away with this win under the belt. That is provided Oya doesn't pull off the god tier ninja play. Does he save? Yeah, he does save the weapon. No chance he gets taken down there. As it's now 13 to 10 rather. I just read the word 13 on the right. 13, but not to 13. The 13 is to Aster, and 13 have 10. So there you go. It's not confusing at all. The round count for Aster at this point looking good. The fact that they've got so much money left over as well is starting to get worrying for team team 13. As the CT side come in with an M4 that they saved over and just a couple of pistols, it's not the best of buys and certainly doesn't promise the best of outcomes. Dream gets taken down in tunnels. As Sungri finds that, another AK going to be retrieved, or another rifle I should say, leaving Aster into a bit of an awkward spot. The flank coming around through the T-spawn as well hasn't been spotted. Mr. Mao didn't hear him drop down, so he could be in for some big trouble. Oh, the timing on that check. 18 didn't look close left. Had he have done that, he would have taken the kill for sure. But we're into a 4v4. 2 rifles in play for the CT side. They've got armor as well. So it's not an easy round by any means for Aster. And they only have 1 smoke to go down on the cross. So they are going to be somewhat exposed. The trades to start us off. Peak coming out on the bomb site, just being a little bit of an annoyance here. Oya with the M4. Oh, the headshot is nasty as he's taken down. Undercover has to reload, but Meister's there to find the kill, and eventually with the reloaded AK, Undercover takes another kill and puts it 14 to 10. Now 13 behind. This is their last full buy. One last attempt, one final chance. The AK-47 in play. They can afford a second if they want to. And indeed they do. Sungri takes that out. Things have definitely looked better for the CT side on a consistent basis. At any point in this game, I think they've had a better scoreline in their favor. As they find the opening kill, at least it becomes a little bit more difficult for Aster to make a push, still with 3 players outside of B, but 1 on long, waiting for the aggression to come through. Mr. Mao's up. Well, excuse me, Mr. Mao's up is going to be retrieved. He was using that because he had spawned. He had a good spawn for a long peek. Obviously didn't work out. 813 then takes the AWP. And Aster eventually going to angle towards the B bomb site based on the current positions. They've still got a smoke which they can lob down on the cross. But actually that smoke is in the hands of Meister. So I'm doubting that this is a B through or B split. With Undercover finding a frag, it looks like we're only seeing Meister sit down outside of B to lurk and hold for any pushes through the tunnels, which have come through quite consistently. They lose control of the A bomb site, so 13 send a player to recover it. It's Ed coming in from mid, and he does find his way to the bomb site without any fights. Meaning we probably won't see anything from Meister. Or are they actually going to go through mid? They have nothing for the cross on CT. A flash goes down as they close in the distance on the bomb site now. Here comes Meister, who's been sitting in tunnels this whole time. Flashes should go over for the T side to help him out, but they don't. Leaving him to do all the work by himself, and indeed literally all the work by himself as he's in a 1 versus 2. No time left. He gets the kill, but he can't get the bomb plant. And he has no time to hunt down this final kill unless 18 actually peeks. What's he doing? He should have known there was literally no time, but going in for that peek, one of the riskiest plays of the game for so little reward, but it works out. We can't say too much about it. As now 14-11, 13 have pulled off a little bit of a comeback, but how long can they keep it up? They've only got an AK and an AUG. SMGs alongside of FAMAS, while Aster on the other hand are in there with the full buy. So 14-11, 4 AKs and an AWP in play for Aster. 13, not necessarily in the best spot economically. As the fight comes in, you can see that towards the A side, there's only 2 players to defend. One on the actual side itself, which is Monster with an MP9, and one up on long. 18 holding the AK in hand. I'm surprised the positions aren't swapped around. 18 would be far more suited to playing on site with that AK and an MP9 holding close long. But eventually he decides he wants to rotate around and find a flank through top mid. As 813 finds a kill, this is where normally Aster go back towards middle, and indeed as they spread on out, 18 finds a frag, jumping around the corner, not quite able to make it out unscathed, but even on 48 HP, he's finding himself a pretty decent position. Now we look towards the bomb side of A, where Monster with an MP9 isn't able to hold off too well, but he does force them backwards in the tunnels, where Sungri is going to be taking a fight and losing into a 2 versus 3, but the B bomb site's secure, and look at this position from Mr. Mao. It's not going to be expected at all, and he's about to butcher his opponents. Actually checking CT there. Very vigilant from Monster to actually cast his eye towards that angle. I'm impressed. But with low HP on both players, Molotovs can even be fatal. Monster's heard outside of the doors, but they don't have any intel on where 18 is. As he pushes on forward, he catches an angle. 813 with the AWP playing passive at this point. Eventually peeks up and finds the kill. So 15-11. Aster 1 round now away from victory, but 13 have certainly put up a very good fight on this map. With theirs coming up next being Vertigo, we could see Aster struggle. It's no secret that Vertigo is a new map, and one that a lot of teams have tried, but there's constant innovation on it, even by Valve, who keep on changing it. On the B-bomb side, Undercover picks up the opening kill, leaving Sungri all alone. A very quick rotation coming through from Monster, but he might be a little bit late as Sungri's caught in the open and taken down. Monster's going to try for a retake at this point. Facing all alone in a 3v4, he needs to wait for his teammates, who've already managed to pull it back into a 3v3, but he's rushing the bomb side. I don't know why he's doing that. It's not like they're low on time. They've plenty of time to get that plant in, and they just get a free kill on the back of that molly. 13 throwing this round away, and you hate to see it so late on as well. They fought so hard for this, and just to throw it away in that situation. Now you've got a big clutch having to come through. 18 finds one on the AWP, but both players are ops retaking B, which is never ideal. Oh, they're finding the shots. It's all down to Mr. Mao. His position's known, but he finds the headshot, closing it out 16-11. And that's how we conclude things in map number 1. But we're going to be back with another map in just a little bit. Be sure to stick around to catch map number 2, Vertigo, the map pick of 13.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.